welcome to Tesori Home. Today I am joined by my friend Sandy. She is a specialty flower grower and floral designer here in New Jersey. You can find her on Instagram at The Collected Garden, and she has a website there for you to check out as well. But Sandy is joining me today and teaching me and you how to create a wreath for the holiday season. And I'm so excited because you do these workshops here at Larger Cross, which is where we're at, by the way. We're at Larger Cross in Old Wick, New Jersey. Beautiful homewares and antique shop, so make sure to check out at the link below if you want to shop their products. But you do these workshops every holiday season and it's such a hit, and so I'm so glad that you said yes to teaching me and our audience how to do it.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Andrew, for having me today. This is going to be so much fun. Yeah, wreaths are a lot of fun, and it's great to do the workshops because it's just a nice way for people to have a chance to connect with nature and also bring their friends. And this is something that also is such a universal thing to do that you could grab a friend, purchase a blank wreath anywhere, and you're all set. So as I had told you earlier, in terms of making wreaths, you can go ahead and grab any kind of circular metal form, and you can go out and hunt and forage, you know, yonder and beyond, and come back with sappy hands and a lot of stuff, which maybe some people do, but most people are kind of like, wait, I could have this and do what? So we are actually today going to be embellishing this. So this wreath in and of itself is lovely, and it's just your classic, you know, pine wreath. We are going to add some layers onto it to embellish it, give it some texture, give it some interest, and then that makes it more personal. So it's something that you can do based on the materials you have or what you choose to put on it.
I love that idea.
What we are going to do is add some green on the green, which seems like a lot, but again, we're going to break it up because of the texture and the tone. So we're going to work with some different cedars and some juniper berries. So that brings in all of those nice, pretty shades. So what I like to do to get started is to grab like 2 or 3 pieces of greens, hold them together. The supplies you're going to need for this are a pair of snips and some wire. So you can grab those at the craft store, order them online, as a lot of people do. And then we generally are just going to take usually about a 6-inch piece of wire. And if you can twist wire, you can make a wreath. So that's the big technique. So you're going to grab that, and you're going to take your wire, and you're just basically going to press it into the letter U. Twist it like the old sort of twist ties on, you know, packaging before they changed it, and then leave yourself the tails, which are the long pieces.
Okay.
And we're gonna make, usually for a wreath this size, if you're wanting to fill all the way through, you're going to want to make about 5 of those bundles. Okay. So we will lay those out. So as you make them, just, you know, place them on top of the wreath. Sometimes you may just want, you know, 2 or 3 down below to create a focal element, but most people tend to want to go all the way around because more is more sometimes.
Yes. No, it's
so
true.
There's that. So now that we did our first layer, which was super fast, we are going to take some floral wire. Now this floral wire is a little different than the bale wire. It's paper coated, super soft and flexible, and a lot easier to work with when we're going to be getting into wanting to secure this. So we're going to take about a foot, I guess about 12 inches, and we're going to find the first bundle by kind of coming in underneath where we started putting our things, our stems, and then we're going to reach underneath. We're going to twist, and then we're going to keep our finger there and just kind of give that a good tug. Then we're going to reach up and find where that next bundle might be and just wrap it around, and then we're going to come under and over.
Oh, that's...
So it's just kind of a quick way to cover a lot of area on it, and then we'll snip that off. And let's see what we get. I have a feeling I think this one piece might come out. Oh, nope, I guess, see, there is one, so that's okay. So now we go back and we say, oh, all right, seems like something is missing here, so I'm gonna tuck that back in. And now we are all set. So now we have this nice sort of base layer.
Awesome, love it.
And now we're going to make sure that you get your base layer.
Okay.
So now at this point, you have this wreath, and you could stop here and it would be beautiful. You could add a bow, or you could add a pine cone, or do absolutely nothing, but you know, more is more.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Let's be abundant. So now it's sort of a matter of choosing what you want to add and where you want to add it. Odd numbers are really what's most pleasing to your eye. Visually, your eye reads left to right, and it will always go to a grouping of an odd number. So in terms of this, like this wreath has what, about five bunches. So now we have that negative space in between our bunches. We have pine cones, we have oranges. So it's a matter of simply saying, oh, you could just add oranges, you could just add pine cones, you could do both. It's just a question of whatever layer you want to bring. So it's the same thing. You're going to grab wire, you're going to cut and twist and just fill it in.
Okay.
And if you're doing the oranges, we're going to take this skinnier wire. Each wire kind of serves a different purpose. This one is great because you're not going to see it in the wreath, and it's sturdy enough. So when you're going to do the orange, you want to put it up along where the rind is, push this through, and twist. Again, the twist. I mean, we're very high level here. Then, if you want to do multiples, you're just going to put another one on the same twisting. A lot of times, people want to sort of take up a lot of real estate on the wreath, so you can do 3. Get into that whole layer of odd numbers. Catch it from behind, and then you're going to wire that into your wreath the same way we did the individual bundles.
All right, I'm going to just like place first to see
absolutely
what we're going to do here.
If you're going for an extra bit of merry, jingle bells usually have a little thread in the back. Same thing, you're just gonna thread it through the hole. I didn't wear my glasses, so there's that. So you're gonna thread it through the hole. Same thing, let me reiterate, twist and clip.
Okay, perfect. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Jingle bells, because when you open the door, you just get that little like Christmas cheer.
So the other textural element that I forgot that we had, Bridget, you might be interested, are like fun things like seed pods and dried flower heads. So when you're done, you can decide if you want to add in a different layer of texture, and we'll use that as sort of a finishing touch. We also have some feathers. Feathers, very controversial. People love them, or they're sort of like, absolutely not. I love them.
I think it's so fun.
So now I have taken some of these textural elements.
Yes.
I've only taken 4 or 5 sprigs and roped them through. So now you can kind of see that while it seems like we've added so much, it doesn't feel, I think, heavy and kind of blocky where you're like, ooh, I don't really see. It just has movement and it's interesting.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So at some point, I will finish mine off with, I think, a bow. What I like to do at this point, I'm gonna hold this up for you, because when you're working and you're looking down, you're looking at it in sort of a flat perspective. But in terms of when you hold it up like this, where you think the top might be or the bottom, you start to say, wait a minute, could you spin it?
Yeah.
So if you sort of find your top now, that's gonna determine where you wanna make the bells, and then you might say, do I want my bow on the bottom? Do I want it on the top?
Okay, yeah,
so it's good to step back.
That's a
little bit.
Yeah. I think I love it like this, actually.
Okay, so then we'll put this down so then you can kind of treat that.
Now I also see cinnamon here. We have cinnamon sticks, we have ivy, and then I also have, if you're interested, the garden is still offering. So I have these sweet little seed heads, which again, it's sort of texture. And what I like about that is that it's all tones and textures. So you have all of these beautiful tones and shades of the pine cones, a very simple, humble, item. But then when you're poking in something that mirrors that, it's just a nice bridge sort of throughout your wreath to add more visual interest. And you don't really need many, but it's just kind of a nice way to add that little extra dimension. And now you have greens and browns and oranges, and it's just pretty and full. This is so, so beautiful.
And then we
I need
have
something
also,
here.
if you're wanting an extra layer, you have cinnamon, sort of wire it up, twist it in. You can tuck that in there. And then same as
Pretty.
before, I would say pick it up, give it a gentle shake, and then if any of those elements went in and they need, perfect.
Okay, let's see, where's the, I kind of like, what do you think?
I think it's perfect the way it is. I think you were thinking down there.
Down there, right?
Yeah. Now, we have some fun feathers. I love a feather, we'll see. But we also have ribbon. So, we have
Fun options.
usually stripes are always a classic, or at least in my world, they're a classic.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So we have stripes, those are always very popular. And then we have some beautiful classic satin in sort of your more, richer, earthier colors. So you can never go wrong with that.
Okay, I'm loving the blue. I'm also loving this brown, but it feels a little too simple. I also love this stripe.
Yes.
And this one too. Ah! What do I choose?
It's the brown stripe or the yellow stripe for me.
Okay.
Is where I would land, but
Yeah,
whatever you want. You know what?
We'll go with the stripe.
We'll make a blue bow as well. So if you get home and you change your
wanna
mind,
change it.
options. You should always
Okay.
have options. Okay. So generally, when I make a bow, much like a lot of things, you can always cut it shorter. You can't make it longer. So I like to err on the side of caution and do a really large loopy bowl, and then say, okay, how much do you want to take off?
Okay.
So there's really no great technique. I mean, we're tying a bow here, but I take it, make it flat. I bring the widest part over. Now I'm going to make this loop flat. So now I've got my bow. All I did was wrap it around, right? I'm gonna come in here, across, nice and flat. This guy is flat. We're gonna pull it. Obviously, we're not gonna have a bow this big. But now we're gonna come back and tighten it and make it a little shorter so you get a nice, you get your bow loops laying flat, and then your tails are going to come down, and then we'll see what we want to do with that.
Okay.
So now you've got
that's
that. Now, what I'm also going to do is hold your wreath back up for you because you may be looking at this thinking, I thought I wanted a bow down there. Do I want to go asymmetrical on the side and have it drape down that way, or from the top? So options. We always like to explore all the options.
Bow on top. I wouldn't have thought that originally. The side. Okay. I think I kind of, no, I think I'm gonna stick on the bottom.
Perfect.
There's something I like about the bottom.
Okay. So now, we are going to take some of the skinnier bale wire. So we're going to take the back of our bow and just slide the wire through. Wait, Bridget, I'm not wearing my glasses, but you just
let me help
you
ya.
thread it through. It should, it should come
it's
through.
catching on the thing. There we go.
Okay, perfect.
Yay, okay.
Loop, twist, and then grab onto like maybe this nice piece here.
Okay. Wait, let me. Okay. Yay.
Take a peek. Now, are you thinking, do you want any bells, or do you just want to keep it a little more earthy and natural? Whatever you like.
I think I need the bells I need the bells for the
them.
sound too.
Yes.
Just the joy.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Give you that one.
Yeah.
One more.
Yes.
Perfect. So pretty.
Cute.
I love it. All right, so there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
We did it.
We did it. High five.
This is so beautiful.
Easy, right?
I love that. Like, first of all, I think not even half, more than half is what you gathered and how it works together so beautifully. You have such a good eye for like the different textures and colors that are gonna really marry well together on it. So I love how it all came together.
Nature gives you a whole lot to work with for not a lot of effort, right?
Yes.
So there you go. So
Oh my gosh.
grab a wreath, a bundle of greens, pretty ribbon, and you really don't need much more than that, right?
Oh, well, thank you so much, Sandy.
Thank
This
you.
is
This was so
Oh, wait,
fun.
we forgot the feathers. Let's
We
see if
forgot
we
the
wanna add a
feathers.
couple
See, more
feathers.
is more.
Let's see.
Always more.
Let's see.
Ooh, that's fun.
Just a little touch.
Just a little bit. Okay, just a little extra.
So
fun, right?
fun. All right, well, you guys have to make sure to follow Sandy on Instagram. Check out her website, The Collected Garden. We have all of her information down in the description below. And I hope that this video inspires you and that Sandy's inspired you to make a wreath of your own this holiday season.
It's a great thing to do with friends and a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Or a cocktail if need be, and enjoy the season.
Yes, and if you want to join one of her workshops next season, you can do it here at Larger Cross in Old Wick, New Jersey. So thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Bridget.
Yay.
This was so much fun.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yay.
Had a great time.
I can't wait to hang this on my door.
Awesome.